Okay, this is the field report for February 16, 2015. We took a clip from the Paul Begley radio show. He has a prophecy channel. We are going to just jump right into part of the question Q&A with Mike from around the world regarding the changes on the climate, climatic changes due to atmospheric compression. We're talking about solar storm activity outside the Earth's surface. This does have no correlation with global warming, but it is its own right, an extinction level weather phenomenon that has been going on for some time. Now, we were referring to book TV, and we're going to give you the opposite discussion because, see, the Christian worldview has our perspective, and of course, we went over the review where she couldn't answer any of the questions. She wrote the book on Sixth Extinction. That would be by Elizabeth Colbert. But Mike from around the world has an opposite view, which is the Christian worldview. Listen in.
It could be. Again, I'm limited as to what I can say, but I know that August 17th is a launch date to actually measure the effects of this first small wave coming in, which will be accompanied by some others. Again, an uptick in volcanic activity leading up to the date of August 17th is something to watch for. If that begins to happen, then the compression event is taking effect on the Earth, and the same thing will happen with the Sun. And it's something to watch for. They're very real events. As they call it Planet 7X. Many people have different names for it's very large. Biblically, something does block 1/3 of the sky from the Earth, and so something is definitive that something, even based on the Bible, will insert itself between us and the sun and the moon and the sky and everything else. So something is coming very close. There will be events preceding any disruption like that. Dust will be one factor, atmospheric compression another. People will have more and more pains in their bones, expansion of the inside of the Earth, which will cause that volcanism. And we're actually looking for the reaction in the core of the Earth that will increase the volcanism and extended or increased amount of pressure that will begin to overflow in the way of volcanism. So that's one thing to watch for. The sky is changing, and the red particles. I can say this definitively also. We will experience in large amounts, potentially over the course of months, rains that are like clay or reddish in color, more and more, leading up to the event of events. And that's something else to watch for, because particles are building into the upper atmospheres, and as they increase, they will begin to affect the clouds and the rain and everything else. So it's going to be, there are things we can watch for, most certainly, and they will lead up to the event itself, or the passage of something in the, not to mention the trash this thing is carrying with it, the smaller particles that will cause meteor storms, and of course, things will burn on the surface of the planet inside those meteor storms. So all these events are leading up to, or they're a culmination of events leading up to an event that could potentially be earth-shattering. We don't know the timing, or this is the time when all things fall apart, but it very well could be. We'll know more information the closer we get to the date, the more we can narrow down to it, but I can tell you this, someone is absolutely preparing for these events to be the worst that have ever been experienced, and someone is hushing the mouths of those who have intimate knowledge and trajectory details of certain objects out there.
And that's because 75 scientists have died over the last
uptick in asteroids. I mean, there was 80 that were, what we would call were lifted.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is draw as a conclusion, because I don't want to take away from what Pastor Paul preaches. I don't always agree with the approach on how people go about their theology. I really want to stick to the facts and also some biblical prophecy. But personally, I try not to endorse too much of the internet preaching. I've run into some issues with that. We really here at the Field Report want to report the facts, also the prophecy, and stick to really the mainstream story about this extinct protocol. Now, the reason I address it this way is because I really want to lay out the facts more than I want to sit here and try to provoke or persuade anybody. I would just really think that the news story itself, it has enough, well, I guess it has enough engine right now that it's worth asking these questions and start provoking this discussion. It's also important to lay out the both sides of the issue, so that's why we do that. We are independent in that respect. We want to address what the global climate change argument is, which we did in that other video with Elizabeth Colbert, who wrote the book, didn't answer many of the questions on the sixth extinction, and then of course the opposite view, which is the Christian worldview, and that's where Mike from around the world has been illustrating this point about what can happen superficially on the Earth's surface because of the exterior changes outside of Earth's atmosphere, meaning that this direct hit, we're seeing the filaments and the solar storm activity having a direct effect on the Earth's surface, which explains this extinction of mass animal kill-off of whales to fish, etc. We've illustrated that for the last 7 years at the Field Report. Many of that, of course, is also seen in Hosea prophecy. So you have to make the distinction there, and it's obvious that there's a distinction for me, because Mike from around the world answers more questions than the girl who wrote the book on the sixth extinction. She didn't, and you're going to have to obviously listen to the different sides of the argument and make your own assessment. But we illustrated that point, and I hope that you also get a chance to listen to more of these clips as on your own free time. Thanks again for listening to the Field Report.